students, very good morning. So you know that we are learning the chapter of characteristics of living organisms, and we have studied a few characteristics of living organisms like nutrition, respiration, excretion, reproduction, movement and all. So there are some other characteristics of living things, that is growth and development, response to the stimuli. So what is growth and development? Growth, it is defined as an increase in size and mass of an organism. Okay, an increase in size and mass of an organism, so we call it as a growth. So living things grow in an organized manner, not in an unorganized manner. So they always grow in an organized manner, in a particular pattern. So all the organisms grow in size over a period of time. So when they grow, many other changes also takes place in them, right? Organisms grow by producing new cells. How the organisms grow means, so one cell become two cell become four cell become 16 cell, like that the number of cells will increase. So as I told, so these cells undergo many changes to perform the specific functions in our body. But what about unicellular organisms? So in unicellular organisms, they grow only by increasing the size of the cell. Okay, so you know that like amoeba, paramecium, euglena and all, they are unicellular. So how they will grow? So they'll not undergo any changes, but they'll only increase the size of the cell to a certain extent, not fully, only to the certain extent they will grow. So during the process of development, the part of an organism form shapes, okay, it will form the shapes, mature and function according to their roles. Okay, so during the development, some structures will take the shape and they'll get mature and they'll do specific functions according to their roles. For example, like bacteria and amoeba being very simple organisms, right? They are unicellular. So they show very little development in that. So in more complex organisms like human beings, horse, banyan tree, mango tree. So these are the very much developed organisms. So which is complicated process and it will take many years for the development. So in bacteria, amoeba, since they are unicellular, so they will take very less time for their development. So since these human beings, horses, most of the trees and all, so they are very complex organisms. So which is complicated process and it will take many years for the development. Another property of the living organisms. So now let us look into another property, that is response to the stimuli. So next is response to the stimuli. So students, all the living things react to changes taking place around them, right? So by seeing this example, maybe you'll get an idea. For example, a rabbit is scared, so it runs away. Maybe it has seen some larger animal, that's why it has run away. Okay, this is one example. Next, you are thirsty, so you drink water. So you are thirsty and you drink water. So removing your hand on touching a hot object. Suppose if you touch any object, you will suddenly withdraw your hand from the hot object, right? So you are responding to the stimuli. Okay, here in case of this, so hot object, any hot object, it is the stimuli. You are responding to the stimuli, right? You suddenly withdraw your hand. And next, you are thirsty. So thirsty means this is the this is the stimuli. So that's why you are drinking the water. You are responding to it, right? Next, a rabbit is scared, so it runs away. So here it runs away. Sorry, your rabbit is scared. It is maybe it has seen some larger animals like human beings, some monkeys or some other. So that's why it has run away. Okay. So here, so we react to touch. So if anyone touches or if someone calls, we will hear to them, right? So we will react to touch, light, heat, cold and sound as do other living things. So any change in an organism's environment, any changes in the organism's environment that causes it to react, it is called as stimuli. Students, suppose if you are feeling very cold in the winter time, what you will do? So you will wear a sweater, right? So that means you are responding to that external environment. So by wearing the sweater, so we call it as a stimulus. Then how the organisms react to that stimulus and brings about the changes in the behavior. Okay, so here the organisms will react to the stimulus. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಏನೇನು ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ಗೆಲ್ಲಾನು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ, ಸೊ ಹಾಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಹಾಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲಸ್. ಏನೋ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅದು ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟಚ್ ವಿತ್ ಯೋರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ ಹಾಟ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಯು ಆರ್ ರಿಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಯೋರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ಯು ಆರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? That is called as response to the stimulus. And for example, you can give, if a dog is feeling cold, it will move to a warmer place, alva? And here is the stimulus is the cold and the response is moving to the warmer place. And if you take an example as your own, during winter time, so if you feel cold, so you'll wear a sweater. So your stimulus is the cold and wearing a sweater, it is the response. Okay, so here are some of the examples. Not only this, we can give other examples also. Closing your eyes during the dust storms. ಈ ತರ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಬಿರುಗಾಳಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, ಧೂಳಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಕೋತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹಿಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಯೋರ್ ಫೇಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಖಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಓಡಿಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ದಿರೋ ತರ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಖನ ಪಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ತಿರುಗಿಸ್ಕೋತೀರಾ. So that means you are responding to the stimuli. So the hand which is coming to beat you, that is the stimulus, and you're turning the face, that is the response. And also some examples like tortoises. So some tortoises retract into their shells on sensing the danger. Okay, these are all some of the examples we can give. Not only this, there are some other responses like plants. So plants also respond to the changes in the environment. So the movement of plants in the direction of stimulus. Okay, so stimulus yav kade irutte aa direction ge plant growth irutte. That is called as tropism. So tropism means the movement of plants in the direction of the stimulus. Stimulus yav kade irutto aa kade move aagta irodike tropism anta kariತೀವಿ. Suppose here you can see one example. This is a potted plant. Okay, a plant bent towards the sunlight. ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ plants sunlight ಕಡೆ turn ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So towards the light source. So this movement of plant is called as phototropism. Photo means light. So the light which is coming from the sun, that is the source of light, and the plant is responding to it by bending its stem. So here you can see the stem is bent towards the light source. So it means here the plant is responding to the heat. So heat or light. Okay. So this is called as phototropism. So another example you can give in the plants, roots. Suppose roots always grow towards the soil. So ಈಗ ನೀವು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ನ ಈ ತರ ಕಿತ್ತಿ ಈ ತರ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಿಯರ್ ದ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ದ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಡೌನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ and whatever the shoot part which will grow upwards. So roots always grow downwards. Okay, the roots grow downwards the soil. This is called as geotrophism. So geo means earth or a soil. And students, you might have seen touch me not plant. ಮುಟ್ಟಿದರೆ ಮುನಿ ಗಿಡ ನೋಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಎಲೆ ಮುಟ್ಟಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ನ ಮುಟ್ಟಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಎಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಡ್ಚ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. So the leaves of this touch me not plant fold when someone touches them. So this movement, it is called as nasticcism. Okay, this is called as nastism. And even some flowers like Brahma Kamala and all, they'll bloom during the night time. Some flowers will bloom during the daytime. Okay, this is also one kind of response to the stimulus. So students, next characteristic is lifespan. So lifespan means it is the period of time that an organism is expected to live. It is nothing but, so ಒಂದು living organism ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಬದುಕಬಹುದು, ಎಷ್ಟು period of time ವರೆಗೂ ಬದುಕಿರುತ್ತೆ. So that is called as lifespan. So different organisms have different lifespans. For example, like some bacteria and some insects like cockroaches or some small insects have only a couple of hours to live. So not cockroach, some other like house flies and all. So they have only a couple of hours to live, and in this time they need to perform all their activities like respiration, reproduction, nutrition and all. So on the other hand, there are living things that can live for many years. For example, an elephant has a lifespan of 70 years, whereas human have a lifespan of over 100 years. And the Bristol cone pine tree. So some pine trees that has a longest lifespan. It can live for about 5,500 years. So every organism is eventually dies at the end of its life cycle. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಜೀವ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಸೊ ಸಮಯ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಸಮಯ ಕೊನೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಏನೇ ಜೀವನ ಚಕ್ರ ಏನಿದೆಯೋ ಆವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಡೈ ಆಗ್ಲೇಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಈಸ್ organisms on the boundary of living and non-living things. So students, I'll give an example, that is viruses. So you can take coronavirus only, COVID virus only. So these viruses are very peculiar organisms, okay, that show characteristics of both living and non-living things. Okay, this virus is like both living and non-living. So viruses grow and multiply only when they enter the living cell. You know that in our environment, in our surroundings, so many viruses may be present. So when they are present outside the body, they are like dead organisms. Okay, they are like dead. So once they enter into the living body or living cell, okay, living cell, so it will get a life and it will multiply its copies. So outside the living cell, they are like a non-living things. ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿಯಿಂದ ಕೊರೋನಾ ವೈರಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ವೈರಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಡೆಡ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಎಂಟರ್ ಇಂಟು ಅವರ್ ಬಾಡಿ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಲ್. Okay, so viruses can cause some of the diseases like corona, chicken pox, measles, flu, cold. So these are all caused by these viruses. So they also cause many diseases in plants also. Okay, this is in between these are the organisms that are between living and the non-living things. So this is about the chapter characteristics of living organisms. So students, I hope everyone has understood the class. Thank you everyone.